More than 17 centuries ago, in the ancient city of Rome, life was ruled by strict laws, powerful armies, and the loud footsteps of soldiers marching through the streets. It was a time when loyalty to the empire was considered more important than personal happiness. The ruler of that time was a strong and determined emperor named Claudius II. He was known for his discipline and his desire to make the Roman army the most powerful force in the world. Claudius believed that married men were not good soldiers. He noticed that young men who were in love did not want to leave their homes. They wanted to stay with their wives, their children, and the comfort of their families. In the emperor's mind, love made men weak and distracted. So he made a harsh and shocking decision that would change many lives. He ordered that young men were not allowed to marry, engagements were stopped, weddings were cancelled. Love was not exactly forbidden, but it was pushed into silence. The emperor believed this would make his soldiers stronger and more focused. But in the middle of this fearful time lived a gentle and kind-hearted priest named Saint Valentine. He believed that love was a blessing and that it should never be taken away by any ruler. To him, joining two people in marriage was not just a ceremony, it was a sacred promise. When he saw young couples crying and heartbroken because they could not marry, he decided to help them in secret. Late at night, when the streets of Rome were quiet and the soldiers were not watching, Valentine would quietly perform wedding ceremonies. Small groups would gather in hidden places. A candle would glow softly. Two people would hold hands, full of hope and fear at the same time. Valentine would bless them and remind them that love was worth protecting. For many young couples, these secret weddings were the only way they could be together. Valentine knew that if he was caught, he would face severe punishment. But he continued anyway, believing that love was stronger than fear. As time passed, whispers of his secret acts began to spread through the city. People started talking about the brave priest who was helping lovers. Some admired him, others worried for his safety. Eventually, the news reached the ears of the emperor. Claudius was furious when he found out that someone was disobeying his orders. Soldiers were sent to search for Valentine. One day, they found him and arrested him. He was taken away in chains and thrown into a dark prison. While he was in prison, something unexpected happened that added even more meaning to his story. The jailer who guarded him had a daughter who could not see. Some stories say that Valentine prayed for her and cared for her with kindness. Over time, she began to feel comfort and peace in his presence. Their conversations brought warmth into the cold prison walls. Even though he was a prisoner, Valentine continued to spread hope. As the days passed, the emperor gave him a choice. He could stop helping people and give up his beliefs, or he would be punished. Valentine refused to turn away from what he believed was right. He stayed strong, even knowing that the end might be near. Before his execution, it is said that he sent a final message to the jailer's daughter, a simple note of friendship and kindness that showed his gentle heart even in his final moments. On February 14th, around the year 269, Saint Valentine was executed. But his story did not end there. After his death, people began to remember him as a symbol of courage and love. Instead of being forgotten, his name slowly became connected with the idea of caring for others and standing up for love. Over time, the day of his death started to be honored in his memory. At that time, the land was still part of the vast Roman Empire. During mid-February, people already celebrated a festival that welcomed the coming of spring. It was a time filled with hope, new beginnings, and happiness. As Christianity spread, many old traditions slowly changed, and the day became connected with Saint Valentine's memory. Centuries passed. The Roman Empire faded, but the story of the brave priest remained alive in people's hearts. Slowly, February 14th became known as a day connected with love and affection. In the Middle Ages, the idea of Valentine's Day started to grow even more in places like England and France. People believed that birds began to choose their partners in the middle of February. This belief made the day feel even more connected with romance and togetherness. Writers and poets started to speak about love in beautiful ways. One of the famous poets, Geoffrey Chaucer, wrote about the connection between February 14th and romantic love. His words helped shape the idea that this day was special for lovers. Over time, people began sharing small notes and messages with those they cared about. These were simple handwritten letters, filled with kind words and gentle feelings. For many people, this was the only day when they felt brave enough to express their emotions. As years turned into centuries, the tradition grew stronger. By the 1800s, people started making decorated cards. These cards were filled with designs, flowers, and symbols of affection. In the United States, a creative woman named Esther Howland began making and selling beautifully designed Valentine cards. Her work made the tradition even more popular, and soon people all over the country began sending cards to friends, family members, and loved ones. As technology improved, the celebration spread across the world. Roses became a sign of deep love. Chocolates became a sweet gift to share feelings. Red hearts appeared everywhere, representing care and affection. But behind all the decorations and gifts, the heart of the story remained the same. It was still about a man who believed love should not be controlled. It was still about courage in the face of danger. It was still about people wanting to express how much they care for one another. Today, Valentine's Day is celebrated in many different ways. Some people go out for dinner. Some give flowers. Some write messages. Some remember their families. Some celebrate friendships. And some simply take a moment to appreciate the people who bring happiness into their lives. Many do not know the full story behind this day. They see the cards, the gifts, and the colors, but the roots go much deeper. The day began in a time when love had to be hidden. It grew because of one man who believed that no ruler should have the power to separate two hearts. The story of Saint Valentine reminds people that love is not just about romance. It is about kindness, sacrifice, and standing by others in difficult times. It is about caring when it is easier to turn away. It is about holding on to what matters, even when the world says to let go. From secret weddings in dark rooms, to letters written by hand, to the colorful celebrations seen today, the journey of Valentine's Day has traveled across centuries. It has changed its shape many times, but its meaning has never truly disappeared. It still whispers the same message that began long ago in the streets of ancient Rome. Love has the power to survive fear. Love has the strength to challenge rules. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can live on for hundreds of years, touching hearts that have never even heard your name.